delivering, and then take me through the product, and let's see what you all built.
All right. Well, my name is Basil, and I'll be representing the Android team for this presentation. So is this the one they want to look at first, the release canvas? All right. So for version 1.1, the main thing we focused on is filtering, searching, and sorting. So this is kind of what we wanted to get to the users, in the users' hands, of what we wanted them to have, which was basically that users want to be able to see events by certain criteria. Users want to be able to quickly search for events using their customized terms, and users want to have a history of their recent searches. And so we determined that we would have success once we can add filters to the search criteria, find events by search, reuse old searches, and sort events by locations nearest to them. So you'll see it more in depth as we go into it as well. That's just the mock-ups, and then we also have our Trello cards as well. But let's get right to the app. So this is our app. This is our homepage. We've got a search bar, some featured events, a list of regular events, and a couple of buttons on the bottom, home and login currently. Obviously, there's more to come in future releases. So first thing, filtering. We can filter by different days. So events that are coming up, like for today, tomorrow, this weekend, are all upcoming. Currently, we've seeded the database in the back end with.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like how the design is like similar to the web too. So like it's a good flow from like you take like the web product and like go to the Android app. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the credit can be given to JP, our UX designer. He's really done a great job on the look and feel of the app. It's really nice, kind of a cohesive product with not just web, but also Android and iOS at the same time. And then, of course, we have the grid layout view, so you can kind of view it if you want a bigger view. Depends on what you want to look at. You can also go back, and all of them have the same kind of grid layout. So that's filtering on the homepage, and then we have the list of different events here. These are the featured ones. Currently, it's a random list. We don't have the featured set up yet, but that's forthcoming in a future canvas. Okay, so first thing we want to do is search. So we just click on search, and it'll automatically take us to the search page. This will list the list of recent searches will be showing down below, nearby, and then filters. First thing I'll show is nearby. So when we click on nearby, this will bring up a list of events that will show you in sorting by the user's location. So right now, my location is downtown Detroit. So it's just showing the events in that order. So
nice.
Yeah, the skating club currently is the closest one.
Was it okay to navigate through like the location permissions for Android? Was that like hard to do?
Yeah, I think we've done that in the past. The main thing is you have to remember to enable the ones on the phone or the emulator, whatever you're using, as well as we found that we had to do everything in the main activity rather than some of the other screens that we're on. We call them fragments. And so just a few things like that seem to be kind of an issue, but I think we're able to get through it without too much issue. But definitely a learning experience. Okay, so that's that. So if we want to do a search, let's say we want to search something, so we can type in a search here, and then click search, and it'll bring something up with that keyword. You can see I typed in winter, and you can see it here. And once again, you can.
Nice. Did you just use like an external library regarding searching, or did you build like try functionality yourself?
This is using, let's see, Apollo and GraphQL to pull the data from the back end. So a lot of the stuff is being pulled from the back end. And to actually do the searching.
You know, it was a lot of logic, honestly, on our end, for the most part, I would say. But we used Apollo, like you were saying, GraphQL to get the events, but in order to sort them, it was just our own logic.
Yeah.
Okay. Can someone run me through like the logic?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Tyler, do you mind pulling that up?
You want to look at the code?
Yeah.
Basil, if you just go to the util package and then the search util file.
Let me expand
So-
on that a little bit. Okay, so we've got search events. So what we do is we take in the list of events. You can see we're getting the events, which is an array list, events.query. This is actually what we get from the backend, this type of GraphQL query type here. So we take that, we break it up. We see we got title, date, that we're searching for. We run it into different functions, and we're sorting it. Let's see. So it looks like I don't know, Tyler. Do you want to take a look at this? He's the one who wrote this one. So.
Yeah, if you go up, there's a comment at the top that will explain it pretty simply.
Okay.
So basically, when we start the app, it makes a network call, and then we store the list of events locally. And then the title required is now optional. I should have updated that. But so basically, it takes the title and it searches all the event titles, and it takes the event titles and makes it lowercase and the search lowercase so that it's not case sensitive. And then you can also pass in the search, which is basically like the filters. So it passes in like the search title and like the filters. And so the filters have to match what the event is as well as like the title. So like you can't just like, if you want to search, you can search by just by like a certain filter if you'd like. But for the most part, like if you want to search by more than one filter, those filters have to match that one event or that event. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so this is the main search event. So what we were looking at before was just nearby, but you can also, let's see, apply filters. So if we click, we'll close that out. We'll click filters. So here's the filter page. We can search for a different tag. Let's see, like say I want the downtown tag. You can also add other tags, or you can just hit apply and just search. You can see here one filter was applied. And so you click in search and then you click that. That would be just an empty search. And then you could actually look at the one that's downtown. We can look at it. We can add a different filter as well. Let's say we don't want to search by downtown, but we want to search by location. So let's click on location and maybe click on Detroit Main Library and then click apply. And let's try searching for that. And you can see here, it's a little bit small, but it says Detroit Main Library. See, we can also search by date. So let's click back on filters. Let's remove this and click date. And let's look at what's going on tomorrow. So we'll just click that and then click apply and then search for that. And you can see we have 2 events showing up for tomorrow.
Nice.
And that's actually similar to what we'd see on the homepage as well. But this is just another way of doing that. And this really cool list here is that this is our list of recent searches. So we searched by winter, and then you can see these other ones that we searched for. We searched for a tag that was downtown, the Detroit Main Library, and as well as the date. So it has a nice little way of being able to run these again. So if I were to click on one of these, it would rerun that same search and apply that as well. You can see I still have one filter there.
Nice.
Yeah. So you can also, these are suggested ones. Let's just cancel out the state. So you could add different tags from the suggested list and see if I get anything. Hit apply on that, and I don't know if I'll get anything, but let's try searching. Oh, we do get a couple. Okay. So we've got a couple of hits for that. So that's searching, filtering, and sorting as well. Did I forget anything?
No, I mean, this is fantastic.
Okay.
Can I see what your next release canvas is looking like so I can give some feedback in terms of clarification there?
All right. All right, so our next one, RSVP events. So kind of the main vision is that we want community organizers to be able to push out events to people and give them an opportunity to attend these local events. That's why they're called community calendar. So this is kind of a big feature that we want to roll out. We want people to be able to RSVP for events rather than just see an event and just kind of show up. We want organizers to be able to know who's going to be coming. And so being able to have a list. So on the app, there's going to be another icon here called events, and you'll be able to go to that. There'll be a whole nother screen, and it'll be a list of the events that you've RSVP'd to. And so you can go and view information about that. You'll be able to look at where it's located, maybe help navigate you and that kind of stuff, but that's like future stuff. We're just wanting to keep it simple for being able to say, I am going to be attending to this event.
Okay, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I think y'all are perfectly on track. I don't really have many feedback here. I really like, yeah, again, oftentimes when we have like Android on the same team, like the Android doesn't really follow similar design. But I think, so that's usually my biggest critique is where it's like, okay, if I'm going from web to Android, is it still an intuitive user flow? And yes, it is here. It's a very intuitive user flow you all did. So huge props to the designer on your team who kind of like, you know, whoever, like,
Absolutely.
yeah. As well as, yeah, how many Android developers are on this team?
So that's Tyler, Justin, and myself. So we have 3.
Nice. So what were the biggest challenges and takeaways from these past couple of weeks?
I would say working with new technology, even you can look at the resources for it and you can try implementing it, but there's always, because you haven't really worked with it, you don't have as much history or much experience with it. And so it's very easy to run into an issue where it's difficult and it takes a little bit longer to solve those issues.
Yeah, the biggest for me is probably on this project where we've been using navigation component, and it's the library just to sort out the way we navigate with that bottom navigation bar. It's meant to work smoothly with things like this. And also Coin, it's a dependency injection thing. So we could, I don't know if you're familiar with dependency injection stuff with code, but yeah, doing a lot of that. Just how to research it to get familiar with it.
I'd probably say another interesting thing working with, because there's 3 of us, we all kind of go off and work on our separate features. And then when we come back and trying to integrate everything, sometimes they don't always really sync up and match. And that was a little bit challenging to be able to get everything working together, because we all, in programming, as you know, there's so many different ways of doing things. Everyone's got a different idea. And so trying to come together and see eye to eye on everything and maybe compromise or learn from someone else to figure out what would work well. That was good. And just how much time it actually takes, probably. So we thought this second release canvas was going to be relatively quick. I mean, searching, sorting, and filtering doesn't seem like it was that intense, but I think it really gave us food for thought and how troublesome programming can be sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else, guys? Any other comments?
I would say making UX stuff come to life, especially with Android. So Android's like a big thing to have the top nav bar, but our UX guy didn't want it.
Right.
And then he wanted us to search with an empty string, which is also like a big no-no. And so
yeah,
basically just trying to make what UX wanted, even though like, because it looks more like we followed a lot of more iOS principles than Android principles.
Indeed.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm super proud of this team. Yeah, you bring this to a hiring manager interview, and that's like, this is sweet. Like, this is amazing for junior developer Android level. So be really proud of yourselves. I know you only need 2 to pass labs, but this is one of those teams where like, I think y'all definitely have the potential to push out another release canvas. I think y'all know that too. So yeah, y'all have officially passed labs, but I'd love to see more. And I can't wait to see what y'all do for release canvas 3. So hopefully I see that next week.
Cool. Well, thank you. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah. Let me know if you have any questions. But once again, I'm really just blown away about the amount of work that just 3 Android developers were able to do. So really awesome job, y'all. Something I do want to ask, have y'all done any documentation?
Yeah. So let me pull up our GitHub.
Because even though the Android program's on pause, when we do get new Android students, I want them to be able to pick this up right away.
Yeah. So we've got, it is deployed. It's actually deployed on Tyler's account, but it's only for people that actually have a specific email address, so we didn't actually put it here. So we have some links some information about some of the libraries that we used, and some default stuff or whatever. It's not super extensive, but we also commented our code pretty good. So if somebody needs to look through the code and try to figure out what's going on, I think they won't run into any kind of crazy spaghetti code or anything like that. They'll be able to figure out what's going on.
Awesome.
We also follow a certain architectural pattern. And so if the Android developer understands that, then they'll be able to pick up our project pretty easily.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I don't have any Android people coming in for Labs21, but I think once the Android program starts again, I'm like, I want to make sure they have some stuff to build on. So this is definitely one of those projects where I'm like, okay, I want them to be able to pick up right away. So yeah, just making sure the because there won't even be like a transition. Usually I'll start having transition meetings where you would meet with the Android developers, but because the way Android structured that won't happen, they basically need to be able to read your repo, read your documentation, and understand exactly how to do things. So if you feel like you're confident in that level, and that's the level I want it to be.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We could add a little bit more in terms of what the future should hold and the direction that the app is moving in as well. Mm-hmm. You can probably see that through the release canvases and also our product vision document on Notion. Yeah, we'll keep that in mind with the documentation for sure.
Awesome. All right. Once again, great work, and I hope to see you all next week.
Cool. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Parth.